Most SaaS companies invest in SEO for years and still struggle to generate revenue from it. But here at LinkQuest, we grew a brand new SaaS product from zero to over £1 million in subscription revenue using SEO as the sole source of traffic and signups. With a very small team and limited budget, the site has attracted over 18 million visitors and converted 23,000 of those into paying customers. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we pulled this off using a simple revenue-focused SEO strategy. You probably know that understanding your audience is the foundation of any good marketing strategy. But when it comes to SEO, a lot of SaaS teams just throw that straight out of the window. They jump into an SEO tool, look at search volume, and then just go after all of the biggest keywords in their category. The problem is that approach attracts visitors and not necessarily buyers. Our goal was always to bring the right people to the site. So before we touched any keyword research, we made sure that we fully understood who we were building for and how the product actually helped them. And that focus on real users and buying intent is why the strategy has held up so well over time. Despite all the recent changes in organic search, this site still attracts over 100,000 visitors a month and is now highly visible in AI search tools like ChatGPT. For standout CV, the term job seekers was far too broad to be useful because that audience includes everybody from school leavers right through to experienced professionals, all with completely different problems. So we broke it down into clear segments like senior professionals, graduates, school leavers, and career changers, because each group searches differently and will need different content to convert. And you can apply this to any SaaS business. For example, if your product is accounting software, then you could break your audience up into segments like finance teams, small businesses, and payroll departments. The next step was identifying the specific problems that each segment was trying to solve. An experienced professional might be struggling to condense 10 years of experience onto a 2-page CV. A school leaver, on the other hand, might be frustrated about having very little experience at all. We captured this in a very simple table: audience segment on one side, key problems on the other. Nothing complicated, but this simple exercise shaped our entire SEO strategy and made sure that all of our content was tied to business goals. Once we understood the audience, the next step was to find out what they were searching for. But instead of exporting a huge keyword list from Ahrefs and working through it blindly, we took a much more methodical approach. We had limited budget and limited resources, so we needed to prove that SEO could work quickly. So rather than chasing traffic, we focused on high revenue opportunities with relatively low competition, because that's how you reduce risk and validate an SEO strategy early. And we did that by starting with the sales funnel, not the keyword planner. At the very top of the funnel are people who have a problem but aren't ready to buy yet. For standout CV, this meant informational search terms like how to write a CV or common CV mistakes. That type of content is useful for building trust and topical authority, but it rarely drives direct signups. So we didn't ignore it, but we just didn't prioritize it early on. Instead, we focused on middle and bottom funnel searches where customers are much more closer to making a buying decision. At LinkQuest, we group these into a small number of revenue-driving keyword types. Industry or role-specific keywords are searches where the user is narrowing down on a solution for their particular job or industry. For standout CV, this included terms like project manager CV template or customer service CV template. These convert extremely well because the search intent is very clear. And focusing on this keyword group paid off quickly. Within the first few months, several of those pages were already ranking on page 1 and driving signups and revenue. Then feature and use case keywords. These are searches driven by a specific feature of the product, such as online template generator or CV formatting tool. These tend to have low competition, but are very commercially viable. We also looked at best of listicle keywords. These searches capture users who are weighing up options and deciding which product to choose. We knew that if we could create an article about the best CV builders on the market and demonstrate why standout CV was the top choice, then that page would definitely generate a consistent flow of traffic, leads, and signups. We also considered competitor alternatives and competitor head-to-head keywords, which are often some of the highest converting keywords for SaaS products because the user is already frustrated with their current provider and motivated to switch. Core product buying keywords like CV builder are where the biggest revenues sit for SaaS products, so they were on our radar, but they are usually highly competitive, so we treated those as longer term targets rather than early wins. Ultimately, if we couldn't explain how a keyword would lead to signups and revenue within 90 days, and it didn't make our list. To make this repeatable, we created a spreadsheet to model keyword opportunities using search data, customer lifetime value, and conservative assumptions around click-through and conversion rates. And that allowed us to focus on a small group of keywords initially that would move the needle quickly, rather than spreading our effort thinly across dozens of low-impact pages. And this is the exact same process we now use on our strategy calls at LinkQuest to help SaaS teams identify where SEO can actually drive revenue for them. Once we'd identified a small set of high-value, low-competition keywords, we then shifted the focus to creating content that actually ranks and converts. A common mistake that SaaS teams make is thinking that they need to publish 20 or 30 articles every month to see any results from SEO. But focusing on volume over intent and quality often results in a huge website with no visitors. So instead of chasing output, we planned around impact. In the early stages, we published just 1 to 3 pieces of content every month, prioritizing keywords with the highest revenue potential and ensuring that each page fully matched the search intent. And this is why Standout CV consistently outranks global brands for high intent keywords. So why did we plan 1 to 3 content assets every month instead of sticking to a fixed amount? Well, some keywords were simply worth more to us than others. If a single page had the potential to bring in 25k in monthly revenue, it justified significantly more time and effort than a page that would only generate 500. That meant building flexibility into our schedule and being very deliberate about where we invested our time, not just cranking out content to meet arbitrary targets. We started by creating all of the highest value content with experienced writers and experienced editors. And as we worked down the priority list, we gradually introduced some automation, but always with human oversight. We never published more than 15 pieces of content per month because we found that anything beyond that, quality control suffered, and so did rankings and conversions. Remember, the goal was never to build a big blog. It was to build a targeted group of pages that consistently bring in organic signups and revenue. Publishing quality content gave us good traction early on, but to build reliable pipeline from SEO, we needed authority. Links are still one of the clearest signals that search engines use to determine which websites to trust. And in competitive SaaS markets, they can often make the difference between being on page 1 and being on page 3. So we approached link building in 3 phases. Phase 1 was about relevance and momentum. When Standout CV was an unknown blog, we reached out to small but highly relevant sites within the career space, like job sites and recruitment agencies. We contributed CV advice articles, templates and resources in exchange for mentions and links. This helped to move domain authority in the right direction and got the brand in front of the right audience. We also used interviews, podcasts, and existing partnerships, all as ways to earn more links and mentions. And these methods are especially effective for SaaS brands with a limited or no brand awareness. Phase 2 was about taking that authority to the next level. Once the site had traction, we'd leverage some of those early wins to start pitching some of the more larger, more established publications in the career space. This led to regular features with sites like CV Library and The Guardian. Consistent links from sites like these gave the domain a significant authority boost and increased trust with both users and search engines. As the site started to compete for more competitive keywords, we needed premium quality links at scale. So for phase 3, we focused on digital PR and linkable assets. This included data-led campaigns which earned coverage from global publications and evergreen statistics pages that naturally attract links over time. At that point, link building shifted from purely manual outreach to creating valuable assets that other people naturally wanted to reference. The key takeaway here is that we didn't start off with expensive digital PR campaigns from day one. We earned the right to do it by proving early on that SEO could generate revenue, and then we reinvested it. Content and links are the key drivers of SEO growth, but technical SEO is the foundation of the strategy. And without a solid technical setup in place, your site will never reach its full potential. As Standout CV grew, we learned what really matters in technical SEO, and there are 2 key factors that you need to get right. If pages don't load quickly, users leave, and search engines don't rank you. We monitored Google page speed scores frequently and kept them optimized with fast hosting and a very lean tech stack. Both users and search engines should be able to navigate the site intuitively. For Standout CV, that meant a clear URL hierarchy structure, separating CV guides, templates and examples, creating only 1 piece of content per primary keyword, to avoid any cannibalization, and strategic internal linking, ensuring that all anchor texts clearly match the topic of the page they are linking to. Nothing complicated, just removing friction for users and making sure that search engines can understand and rank the content. So none of this was about gaming algorithms or publishing content for the sake of it. It was about understanding buyers, targeting revenue-driving opportunities, creating content that converts, and scaling authority with genuine earned backlinks. This is the same framework that we now use at LinkQuest with founders and SaaS product marketing teams who want SEO to drive signups, demos, and MRR. If you want to see exactly how SEO could drive revenue for your SaaS business, then you can book in a free strategy call with me. I'll show you the top keyword opportunities for your business and how much revenue they could potentially generate for you. I'll also put together a 90-day action plan to show you exactly how we could achieve top 1 to 3 rankings for all of the keywords in that list. Thank you very much for watching, and if you've got this far, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos on how to grow a SaaS business with SEO.